I prefer Naruto Storm Connections over Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Now, before I go into this and potentially upset some people, let me just give an insight on who I am. Now, if you don't know who Poison Okami is, I am essentially a Naruto Storm Connections content creator, or you can just say a Naruto Storm content creator in general. I've had a very wide competitive history competing in tournaments. I feel like I've achieved a lot with Storm over the years in terms of teaching people and providing a lot of good entertainment, and I'm just generally a fan of the Storm series. Not only this, but I played a lot of other anime games in my time as well, and I've actually grew up playing the games Budokai Tenkaichi 2 and 3 for Dragon Ball Z on the PlayStation 2 when I was just a child. But now let's get back to the big question. Why do I prefer Naruto Storm Connections over Dragon Ball Sparking Zero? Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is this brand new amazing game that we're all enjoying, and it looks so beautiful, and we've been anticipating this for years. On a surface level, I actually prefer Naruto Storm Connections for its gameplay and mechanics. I personally think that the idea of 4 substitutions is a fantastic idea, and I simply believe that this alone sets Storm above all other anime arena fighters for gameplay. Moreover, I personally find that the supports and the leader switching mechanics are a lot more enjoyable in Storm. I feel that having supports to throw in their jutsu to assist you in battle can add another layer to fighting in this arena fighter, where in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, you don't have assists, so the fighting feels rather linear and too simple. But if we were to go on a deeper level, there is a lot more to it. I've played Storm competitively for many years and have achieved a lot in my competitive career in Storm. Naturally, I love the competitive atmosphere of games. I've watched a lot of esports in Call of Duty, Tekken, Dead or Alive, Overwatch, even League of Legends, and I don't even play that. I always enjoy watching games played to the highest possible level. There's something so beautiful about it. However, anime arena fighters struggle for this, and for me, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is actually pretty boring to spectate on a high competitive level. There, I said it. Don't get me wrong, Naruto Storm Connections isn't the best for spectating either, which is why I said earlier that anime arena fighters struggle for watching games being played at the highest level. Because in order for anime arena fighters to be played at the highest level, the meta is seen to be a rather obscure character with a moveset or hitbox on particular attacks that clearly wasn't curated for competitive play when in development. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not a very good Sparking player at all. In all the Sparking gameplay I've so modestly featured in this video, you can see I'm actually getting destroyed by this very average Roshi player. Well, I actually think he's pretty good. But since I can't play this game at the highest level to show you why I think it's boring, let me show you footage from the latest big tournament for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Ultimate Burst. This was produced by Globku at an amazing level. Fantastic production on those live streams, my friend. Now, looking at the grand finals for Sparking Zero, you can see that the gameplay does have some fighting, kinda. Then whenever one of the players goes into Sparking mode, the other player just plays Elevator Simulator. Kinda wild, but Then there's just a bunch of different counters and sways you can do when you're being hit, so close combat situations are either short-lived or rather inconsistent. Thus, returning back to my original point of it being a bad spectator game to watch. And if it's a bad spectator game to watch, I can't imagine playing it is that much fun either if you have to play this way in order to actually win. I'm not sure if the players themselves are actually having fun doing this. I can understand that they have to play this way in order to earn those big bucks, but I have caveman brain. I watch a Sparking Zero tournament, if I'm not entertained by Flight Simulator or Elevator Simulator going on, my brain just goes ooga booga, I don't like this, and I just want to go headfirst into my monitor, turn that shit off, and never see that fucking thing ever again. I feel like if there was a Subway Surfers video attached to any Sparking Zero gameplay footage that I see, I might actually be hooked to actually watch the whole thing. From what I've seen of this game competitively, I have no desire to actually want to get better myself, and I'd actually just be happy playing this casually with my friends. As I said previously, Naruto Storm Connections isn't the best spectator sport either. Watching this at the highest level, I still feel like they're actually fighting at least. The gameplay of high-level Storm Connections is quite linear in itself as well, with a lack of leader switching and constant use of the same supports all the time, which is a shame because we have leader switching and it isn't used because of the properties of these support jutsus because they're so damn good all the time. Tamari is literally just going crazy. When you have a really good support like Tamari carrying you, you don't actually need to leader switch or even have a brain to actually think of strategies to play connections at a high level. Now, I'm sure Spike Chunsoft and Bandai will be cooking up some patches to release for sparking to fix or adjust the defense and counter system to make the gameplay less linear and more of a variety, or more of like a punishing system when it comes to close combat play, to make it so it's not as repetitive all the time. The game right now just feels really repetitive and easy forgiving. Actually, as I'm currently talking about this, I did see on Twitter about a day ago, Bandai has released a survey for them to release feedback for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. So if you actually enjoy watching Dragon Ball Sparking Zero and you want the game to improve, go ahead and check out that survey so you can fill it out and actually give them your input. Trust me, Bandai does actually forward it to the development company and things do get changed. I can vouch for this because this has happened kind of for Storm Connections. And to be honest, I do hope that the hardcore Dragon Ball Sparking Zero players get what they wish for and the game ascends to a better state than what it's currently in. As a Naruto Storm player that has always wanted improvements to increase the competitive quality of the Naruto Storm games, I hope Sparking at least gets some justice there. I see Sparking as a friendly neighbor to Storm, and I have a lot of love for him. Overall, I do enjoy both games quite a lot, but I really don't think any arena fighter could beat Storm in terms of its PvP gameplay and mechanics. I feel like CC2 really hit the nail on the head with how Storm was made over the years. The supports, leader switching, substitutions, combo cancels, animations, and all the possibilities for a fight to pan out. Naruto Storm will probably always be the better anime arena fighter, and you'll notice I kept saying anime arena fighter during this video, rather than saying anime game. That's because simply I cannot say anime game because that's too broad of a suspect to say, and not only that, but how can I say that Naruto Storm is the greatest anime game to exist competitively or on a high level when Dragon Ball FighterZ exists? That game was literally made for competitive spectator sport. However, FighterZ is not an anime arena fighter like Storm and Dragon Ball Sparking, so we have to separate these two games when discussing these. I know that a lot of you watching this are like, well, Poison Akami is a Storm player, why should I listen to this fucking idiot? Well, that's the thing, I'm actually trying not to be biased, and everything that I've pretty much talked about, I'm trying to talk about it from sitting on the fence perspective, third person POV, not trying to be too biased of Connections and or trying to be more in favor of either game at all. Obviously, in this video, I'm talking about why I prefer Storm over Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and that is just an opinion of mine that isn't going to change. Obviously, people can tell me that they prefer Sparking over Storm, and that's okay, it's all just down to opinion. From what I've seen of Sparking, and generally just from what I've played at my very amateur level of playing Sparking, the gameplay just feels too linear, too simple, too repetitive. I'm always doing the same stuff. Yeah, there are different sequences you can do in the combos by hitting the triangle button in different parts of your square mash. And, you know, you can also jump out of your combos, you can sidestep, implement like key blasts. I'm aware of all the different things you can do in close to mid-range situations, also when trying to fight your opponent in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Still, the gameplay just feels too linear. Now, I know earlier I may have contradicted myself when I said that the use of support, having their assists come in to assist the battle in Storm Connections, is a great feature because it adds layers to the gameplay. However, like I did also say, Storm Connections at the highest level is booty butt cheeks when you got Tamari and DMS Kakashi and Karin literally ruining your day when you've only been on the game for 5 whole minutes. And I think just a general conclusion of this is that anime arena fighters haven't actually achieved the actual level to be good at a competitive high level sport. Like, they haven't actually achieved the ability to be played at EVO or at high stakes $100,000 tournament level. Okay, simply because these games aren't really made with that in mind. You can tell Dragon Ball FighterZ was made with competition in mind. You know, we can even go ahead and stretch over to other games like Street Fighter, Tekken. They were made for competition in mind. Smash was never made for competition in mind, but then in Smash Ultimate, they did actually do buffs and nerfs to character because they do care about somewhat of the competitive aspect. And that's the thing, although Sparking and Connections do receive balance patches to actually buff and nerf characters, when the game was made from the ground up and they developed these games, you can tell that it wasn't all entirely made for competition. So when it comes to having to try and nerf a very overpowered thing, the general fundamental concept of that jutsu in Naruto Storm Connections is too far gone that nerfing it would just basically mean just making it 90% worse than what it was on release. And the thing is, a lot of games are going to have competitive players. Even a very simple game like Mario Kart does have a competitive scene, and although it's kind of scuffed in my opinion, played at a competitive level, it's actually still quite fun to watch and playing. And that's the thing with anime games, is as long as you're having fun, that's the thing. You gotta bear in mind that the developers' mindsets when they're making these games, they're not making it to be EVO ready, we're just trying to make it EVO ready. And we can make a competition out of a game because we've done this successfully with Storm 4 in its 8-year lifespan. Naruto Storm 4 has been in competition for a long time, a lot of money has been cycled through that, and a lot has happened through Storm, a lot of up and coming players and players, you know, coming out to the top, and I've achieved a lot through Storm personally. Storm 4 has been pretty good in that regards, and it's thanks to the community making it a very healthy competition to the best of their ability, implementing rules. I know that we're trying to avoid implementing rules, is why we've been kind of shy to do it in Connections, but who knows, maybe in the games like Sparking and Connections, maybe just implementing rules might be the case. Now, I am rambling about other topics, and obviously the main topic is why I think Connections is better than Sparking. But I've gave you all of my reasons. Yes, they're very simple reasons as to why I don't prefer it. But hey, some of you guys can actually tell me your opinions down in the comment section below about what you think about Sparking in terms of Storm. You know, what game you think is better of the two. Maybe you like both quite a lot. I don't know. I don't know what your opinions are, but I would love to hear them because I actually do enjoy reading all the comments. Don't forget to like the video if you actually enjoyed it. Be sure to drop a comment down below on telling me your thoughts and feelings on the whole Storm Connections versus Sparking debate. Obviously, I'm Team Storm Connections. And don't forget to subscribe if you are new to the channel. I do a lot of Naruto Storm content. Who knows, I might even still continue doing more Sparking content because you guys really seem to enjoy that, even though I'm really bad at the game. As always, it's been your boy Poison Nakami. Janet.